My dad has a collection of cigarette butts in a U-Band coffee can. I bought him a carton of old golds, but he wouldn't touch them. He kept twisting tobacco out of butts and rolling remakes over a grocery bag so as not to lose the slightest bit. He sneered at my carton of cigarettes, all red and white and ready rolled. He spent all the food money I'd gave him on bourbon, filled the icebox with bottles, had his hair cut short like a World War II fighter pilot. He gleamed every time he ran his hand across the bristles, said they used to cut it short like that so their leather helmets would fit. Showed me how the shrapnel scar still showed on the nape of his neck. My dad lives alone on the desert. He says he doesn't fit with people.
I was gonna run last night. I was gonna run and keep right on running. I drove all night. Clear to the Iowa border. The old man's $2 sitting right on the seat beside me. Could see myself in the windshield, my face, my eyes. I studied my face. Studied everything about it, as though I was looking at another man.
In the windshield, I watched him breathe as though he were frozen in time. And every breath marked him forever without him knowing it. And then his face changed. His face became his father's face. The same bones, the same eyes, the same nose, the same breath. And then his father's face changed into his grandfather's face. And it went on like that, changing, clearing back to faces that I'd never seen before, but I still recognized.
I do honor the ones that have come before me. You know, I mean, you know, it's ridiculous to think that you were born out of thin air. There's things that there's ancestors, you know. And if you don't honor your ancestors in the real sense, you're committing a kind of suicide, you know. Something separated and fell away. Instinctively, his heart understood this something was the long-cherished notion of himself as a distinct individual, an American entity called the self-made man. He'd learned it through generations of irascible ancestors with the same hard-set jawline and gnarly nose. His great-great-great-grandfather, a man called Lemuel P. Dodge, who lost an ear fighting for the South and was finally hanged for womanizing in Ojinaga, and dragged through the dusty streets until his head separated from his torso. There were others, men with long beards and wide-brimmed straw hats, almost biblical against the prairie sky. Railroad men blasting their way through granite mountains, unstoppable in their absolute conviction of manifest destiny. Then later generations where the mysterious glint of doubt begins to creep into their eyes. There was a connection there he felt more real than imagined, more real than his living relatives. Aloneness was a fact of nature, he reasoned. He'd learned to not look beyond it, to avoid the trickery of the mind where women were concerned, to avoid the imagery of seduction altogether. It had never paid off in the past. The difference between male and female is unbelievably mysterious, you know, because you never are somehow never able to completely cross the fence.
I wouldn't venture a moment to say what Sam knows about women. I think his women characters are marvelous and strong. And it's part of what's required of the women in Shepard, I think, to stand up to these guys. That's what they got to do.
Why are you always crossing the river? What do you do over there anyway? I like it. Yes, but what do you do? Why were you gone all day today, for instance? Los Gallos. Don't talk Mexican to me. You know I can't stand that. Roosters. That's why you come back splattered in chicken blood and smelling like a dead man? Chicken fights? See, Los Gallos. I don't understand you. No, it's true. I never will understand you. Probably not. Who are these women in the back of the truck? Gabriel's sisters. Sure. You were gone all day with them? They rode him back. What'd you do over there with them? I told you. Cockfights, that's all you did? Watch a bunch of poor dumb chickens rip each other to ribbons? Why are you always going over there? Can't you find what you want in Texas? Texas is tame. Tame? Yes. Texas is tame? That's your answer? I have no answer. Why can't you just stay home? You should come over with me sometime. You'd like it. Mexico scares me. I've told you that. But why? I don't speak the language. There's no reason. Everything about it terrifies me. I always think I'm about to be murdered over there. This menacing wildness. All humans are foreigners over there, even Mexicans. You have no business going over there all the time. One day you'll be killed. Wait and see. I mind my own business. Why don't you just go live over there if you like it so much? Why even bother coming back? I come back because of you. Why me? I'm the opposite of you. Maybe that's it.
What do I think he understands about women? I don't think he understands a damn thing about women. I mean, I think he appreciates that fact, that they're mysterious and powerful and know a hell of a lot more than he does. I mean, I think that he appreciates that. I don't think he appreciates the woman, the feminine physique. I mean, you know, he's got a good eye.
Well, I think he writes well about testosterone mania. I mean, I think he writes well about everybody wanting to be a criminal, but yet they all want to get away with it.
See, Sam truthfully is an outlaw, and I think that's where he's most comfortable. You know, and as soon as you get branded a movie star, as soon as you get branded successful, you're no longer an outlaw. Shepard can kind of take on a legendary status, you know. I mean, in any myth, you know, there's going to be some fraudulence in that. And in a lot of his writing, you see the struggle with that. And then other times you see him just embrace it wildly, you know.
I'm as avaricious as any of them. The hunger, right?
Well, he's comfortable with who he is, you know. He does the things that he likes to do. And I think he respects that freedom and that independence. I think it's very, very important to him. And I think part of that's one of the reasons he's a very private person, is that it's none of anybody's business, you know.
There's this thing of being apart somehow, in a way that's unexplainable. It's not, you know, it's not like, I'm different. Not that kind of thing. It's another kind of thing, another sense of being strung out beyond hope.
Are you crazy? You went to college. Here you are down here rolling in bucks, floating up and down in elevators, and you want to learn how to live on the...
Yes, yeah, I do, Lee. There's nothing down here for me. There never was. When we were kids here, it was different. There was a life here then. Now I keep coming down here like it's the 50s or something. I get off the freeway at familiar landmarks. They turn out to be unfamiliar. On my way to these appointments, I wander down streets I thought I recognized. They turn out to be replicas of streets I remember. Streets I misremember. Streets I don't know if I lived on them or if I saw them in a postcard. Fields that just don't exist anymore.
Well, there is no point in crying about that now.
There's nothing real down here, Lee. Least of all me.
Well, I can't save you from that.
Yeah, you can let me come with you.
Guys.
No, Lee, let me come with you.
Now, do you actually think that I choose to live out in the middle of nowhere? Huh? Do you think it's some kind of philosophical decision I took? Boy, I live out there because I can't make it here.
It's very interesting to me, aloneness. Very interesting. Because it's always this balance between aloneness and being a part of a community or a part of, you know. It's always been interesting to me from the very start. You know. It is exile. It's what Beckett is so powerful, I think. You know, it's all about exile, about banishment, about being cut away. And then at the same time having to take part, you know.